Today is day 8 for economics for Unit 1. We had a key terms quiz and we took a few notes on incentives. Our big question for today was, why does my behavior change under different circumstances? This is our essential question for today and our next class day. And we want to categorize various types of monetary and non-monetary incentives. We'll define what those are and look at several examples, describe how incentives influence human behavior, and then we will describe how incentives can change behaviors to produce unintended consequences. We continue to work with these key terms, and these are the standards that we are addressing in Unit 1, and this last standard is the newest addition for the last topic that we'll talk about, which is incentives. And the key terms standard. We took the key terms quiz. If you missed that, make an appointment with me to get that taken care of. Students then read pages 8 and 9, which is Principle 4, and they were defining and reading some background information on incentives. And these are the last set of key terms for Unit 1. We define these 3 today. The last one we'll define next class. So we took a few notes on incentives and looked at examples. An incentive is anything that causes us to take a particular course of action, and we oftentimes refer to an incentive as the carrot. And so this is what is motivating us to do something. And so as incentives change, our behaviors will then change. Here a person might be working really hard in order to get a promotion, to get a pay raise, to, whatever it might be. They're behaving this way for a reason. And so defining these terms, anything used to encourage people to act in certain ways, we looked at rewards and penalties, positive and negative incentives, and then monetary and non-monetary incentives. And the difference between rewards and penalties would be rewards anything that makes us better off. And so it's a perceived benefit, points, grades, pay increase, awards, honors, employee of the session, student of the session, a bonus. Those would all be rewards. Versus penalties make us worse off. And so it's a perceived loss, a fine or a ticket, jail, prison. Those are going to be incentives that cause us not to behave a certain way. So a speeding ticket will cause us to not go over the speed limit. And these are some examples from the Big Bang Theory with incentives, so you can check those out by clicking on the link. Monetary incentives be when money is offered to encourage people to act in certain ways. So instead of the carrot, that carrot is now money. And so an example, buy $50 in groceries, you get $5 off your next purchase. You are getting those $5, so this is a positive incentive. This would be a reward because you are benefiting, you are getting that money. And so the desired behavior is to spend at least $50, not $45, but $50. The grocery store wants you to invest a certain amount of money in order to get something back. And what you get back would be that incentive of that $5. Non-monetary incentives, when something other than money is used to encourage people to act in a certain way. And this could be just about anything. And managers and bosses will oftentimes learn it's not just about money that motivates their employees. It's a variety of other things. So, for example, your CWSB job, you could earn Employee of the Session. That award, that recognition, can be an incentive as well. To win this prized parking spot can be a positive incentive, but it can turn into a negative incentive for other people. If they choose to park there, then they would have to pay to get their car back from the impound lot. And so this is like a handicap sign. This would be a negative incentive for them. Discouraging behavior of parking there. And so again, if your desired behavior for getting an Employee of the Session, you perform well on the job. We looked at a few more examples. We analyzed if it's a reward or penalty, monetary, non-monetary, and the desired change in behavior. So I encourage you to take a look at these, pause the video, go through them, and then I will go over the answers right now. Okay, number 1, job offer. This is going to be reward, and it's going to hopefully encourage you to take this job offer because you're comparing one job offer with another job offer. And in this case, they are giving you money that goes into your retirement account. So that's free money, so it's a monetary incentive as well. Fines, right away, that word should tell us that's a negative incentive, so it's a penalty. And the change in behavior is to not exceed the CO2 emissions because otherwise you have to pay more fines. And yes, that will be monetary as well. Parents sit in a curfew on the weekend. That's going to be a penalty. Okay? Change in behavior is you don't stay out late. You get home earlier than later. and that will be a non-monetary incentive. And lastly, the boss giving you a flexible work schedule, allow you to work from home. That will be a reward. You'll continue your hard work performance, and that there's no money being exchanged. It is non-monetary. Okay, continue to practice looking at different scenarios in your own lives. Think about the actions that you take, the behaviors you make, and why? What motivated you? What was the incentive when you took a particular course of action? Your homework for next class will be quiz number 2 on Schoology, then continue studying the key terms. We have an assessment coming up next week.